Black Africans have been seen as a threat throughout history, not because they were weak, but because they were strong, smart, and successful. They built great kingdoms and had incredible skills. Those in power felt afraid and created false stories to keep control, making it harder for Black people to succeed. Number 1. The fear of Black excellence. For a long time, Black Africans have been seen as a threat, not because they did anything wrong, but because they were strong, intelligent, and powerful. Long before Europeans came to Africa, Black people built great cities, powerful kingdoms, and advanced civilizations. Their lands were rich in gold and natural resources, and their knowledge helped shape the world. Instead of celebrating this, Europeans and Arabs saw it as a problem. They were afraid that Black Africans were too powerful, so they spread lies, saying Black people were uncivilized, weak, and in need of help. These lies were used to justify slavery, colonization, and unfair treatment. By making Black people seem less important, they kept control and made sure Black Africans could not rise to power. But history cannot be erased. The truth is that Black Africans have always been strong, creative, and intelligent. The real problem was not Black excellence. It was the fear and insecurity of those who wanted to keep Black people down. Even today, this fear still exists. We see it in unfair systems, economic struggles, and racial discrimination that make it harder for Black people to succeed. The question is, why does this fear still remain? And what will it take for the world to finally accept and respect the greatness of Black Africans? The truth is, no amount of lies can change history. Black Africans have always been leaders, builders, and visionaries. Their contributions to the world are undeniable. The sooner people acknowledge this, the sooner real equality can happen. Black history is not just about pain and struggle. It is about greatness, resilience, and success. It's time for the world to stop ignoring the truth and start recognizing the incredible legacy of Black Africans. Number 2. Black physical strength and the rigged system. Black Africans have always been known for their strength, endurance, and ability to overcome challenges. Instead of celebrating these qualities, non-Blacks, especially European colonizers, saw them as a threat. Throughout history, Black people have stood out in sports, leadership, and survival skills. This made European rulers nervous because they knew that if Black Africans had the same chances as everyone else, they would succeed and become leaders. To stop this from happening, a system was created to keep Black Africans at the bottom. Slavery was made normal, forcing Black people to work under cruel conditions with no freedom. Intelligence was redefined to fit European ideas, making it seem like only European ways of thinking were correct. Europeans even decided what it meant to be civilized, and of course they claimed they were the most advanced. Even famous thinkers like Aristotle helped spread these ideas by saying some people were born to be slaves, and most of those enslaved were Black. This kind of thinking allowed non-Blacks to justify their unfair treatment of Black Africans. To make things worse, they spread a harmful lie that Black people felt less pain. This false belief was used to justify extreme cruelty, including harsher punishments and terrible medical experiments on Black bodies. It was never about truth, it was about making sure Black people stayed powerless. Even though slavery officially ended, the effects of this unfair system still exist today. Racism, unfair treatment, and hidden biases continue to make things harder for Black people. The same fear of Black excellence that existed centuries ago still lingers, shaping the way society works. The world must recognize that Black strength, intelligence, and resilience have always been a force to be reckoned with, and it's time to break free from the systems built to suppress them. Number 3. The fear of genetic annihilation. Even after enslaving Black Africans and stripping them of their rights, non-Blacks had one lingering fear: genetic annihilation. They understood that Black genes were dominant, meaning that if a Black person had a child with a white or Arab person, the child would inherit Black features more prominently. Over time, this meant that non-Black physical traits could fade away, erasing their genetic identity. This realization terrified the ruling classes, leading to strict measures to control racial mixing. Laws were enacted to prevent Black slaves from marrying non-Blacks, ensuring that white and Arab bloodlines remained pure. The infamous one-drop rule was introduced, classifying anyone with even a single black ancestor as fully black. This tactic ensured that mixed-race individuals were grouped with black people rather than being accepted into white or Arab society, effectively maintaining racial divisions. However, history took a different turn in certain regions. In Latin America, under Spanish and Portuguese rule, interracial marriages were more common, and black descendants were sometimes granted full rights and integrated into society. In the Arab world, black slaves were occasionally assimilated through marriage, with their children adopting Arab customs and identities. Despite these exceptions, the broader non-black world remained deeply insecure about black genetic dominance. Instead of acknowledging and embracing the strength of black ancestry, they sought to suppress and segregate black people, ensuring that black excellence was never fully recognized. This fear-driven suppression continues in different forms today, from beauty standards to social hierarchies, proving that the fear of black dominance, both physically and genetically, has never truly faded. Number 4. The truth about Africa's role in human civilization. Black Africans were the first humans on Earth, a fact that scientists and historians have confirmed through research. The earliest humans originated in Africa, where they developed intelligence, survival skills, and built the foundations of human civilization. Over time, black Africans migrated to different parts of the world, settling in Asia, Europe, and beyond. This means that every human being, no matter their race, has African ancestry. However, many non-blacks struggle to accept this truth because it challenges the long-standing belief in racial superiority. If black Africans were the first people, it would mean they played a crucial role in shaping the world, contradicting the false idea that they were always an oppressed group. Acknowledging this reality would dismantle the entire system of racial hierarchy, forcing the world to recognize that black people were the original pioneers of civilization. Even today, DNA tests show that Europeans still carry between 4% to 20% of genetic markers from African ancestors. This undeniable evidence proves that black Africans are not just another ethnic group. They are the foundation of humanity itself. Despite this, many people continue to ignore or alter history to maintain the illusion of separation and dominance. The truth is that Africa is more than just another continent, and black Africans are more than just another race. They are the first people of the world, the ancestors of all, and the true pioneers of human civilization. Recognizing this history is crucial for breaking down false narratives and appreciating the immense contributions black Africans have made to the world. 5. Africa as wealth and the fight to control. Africa is the richest continent in the world, filled with gold, diamonds, oil, and countless other valuable resources. In some places, gold can literally be found just beneath the soil. But instead of allowing Africans to benefit from their own natural wealth, outsiders have spent centuries taking control of it. Arab historians like Al-Fazari wrote about Africa's incredible riches, calling Ghana the city of gold. When Europeans discovered this, they launched brutal colonization campaigns, stealing Africa's resources while pretending to bring civilization to the continent. Even today, Africa's wealth is still largely controlled by foreign powers. France, for example, holds half of many African nations or, quote, gold reserves in its own banks, preventing those countries from accessing their own money. Italy's Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, even admitted that France prints currency for African nations, giving them worthless paper in exchange for real African gold. This system was designed to keep African nations dependent on outsiders, rather than allowing them to thrive independently. The idea that Africa is poor is one of the biggest lies ever told. It was created to justify the ongoing theft of its resources. The truth is, Africa has always been wealthy, but non-blacks have worked hard to stop black Africans from reclaiming control of their own land and economy. The fight for Africa's financial freedom is still ongoing, as foreign nations continue to profit from Africa's resources while keeping its people trapped in artificial poverty. Recognizing this reality is the first step toward changing it. Number 6. The illusion of equality in modern times. The idea that equality exists today is often just an illusion, carefully designed to make it seem like progress has been made while still keeping control in place. Many people believe racial barriers no longer exist, But in reality, the same systems that once enslaved and oppressed Black Africans now work in more subtle ways. One clear example is representation. Why is there usually only one Black person in leadership, in movies, or on talk shows? Is this true diversity, or just a way to create the appearance of fairness without real change? The truth is that non-Blacks have long feared Black excellence, and this fear continues to shape modern society. Instead of using open oppression, the system now relies on hidden barriers in education, business, and politics to keep Black people from reaching their full potential. Even when Black individuals succeed, they often face extra scrutiny, resistance, or tokenization, where they are placed in positions just to create the image of inclusion rather than given real influence. The world wants to seem fair, but true equality still hasn't been achieved. This is why knowing history is so important. When people understand the truth, they can break free from the cycle of misinformation and reclaim the legacy that has been hidden from them. The fight isn't just about being seen, it's about tearing down the structures that have long worked against Black empowerment. Real progress will only happen when Black people are not just included in controlled spaces, but are free to rise, thrive, and lead without limits. Black Africans have always been strong, smart, and full of potential. But instead of supporting them, others felt afraid and tried to hold them back. Today we know the truth. Black people's greatness cannot be erased. It's time to respect, celebrate, and support their success without fear or limits.